Hello class. Today in this video, I'd like to work on a problem from our study guide. This is a typical problem involving quadratic functions, where we have the motion of an object that's affected by gravity. So, a ball is thrown straight upward at an initial speed of 20 feet per second. Its height is given by the following quadratic function. Find the maximum height of the ball. So, first of all, we should note that our a value here is negative. So we're going to have a u that opens down. So it's going to look something like that. What else is happening? Well, we have the ball, it's thrown upward, and you see its height increases very quickly relative to time. And then see this ball, it's thrown straight upward, goes very quickly, and then due to the forces of gravity it slows down, and then it reverses direction, then it goes very quickly down, so that relative to time its height drops very quickly. Okay, so they want us to find the maximum height of the ball. Well, what is that? Well, what they're asking for is simply with a vertex point. Okay, so how do we find that? Well, we're given an equation in the ABC form of the quadratic function, and we have to simply remember what the formula is to find the vertex when we have the ABC form of the equation. And what is the formula for the vertex that involves A, B's, and C's? Well, it actually just is negative B over 2A. You want to make sure here also that you're getting your B's and your A's from the correct places. So this B value is always going to refer to the coefficient next to the x to the 1, t to the 1, and this A value is going to refer to the coefficient next to the x squared, the t squared. So sometimes, as we're dealing with addition, these can be rearranged so that you'd have a 20t up front minus 16t squared. But you should recognize that our A value is always next to the t squared or x squared coefficient, the variable x squared. It's the coefficient A. Okay, so we have negative B over 2A. And that would be, so our B is 20, so we have negative 20 over 2 times A, which is negative 16. And we can reduce this. So 20 divided by 2 is 10. And a negative divided by a negative, well, it's just going to be a positive. So we have 10 over 16. We can reduce this further also, because 10 and 16 have a common divisor of 2. So 10 divided by 2 is 5. 16 divided by 2 is 8. So we are left with 5/8. So are we done here? We found the vertex point, at least the t value to our vertex point. So we still need to find this h value. So we have t equals 5/8, as in 5/8 of a second. So what do we do to find our h value, the height? Well, we simply plug 5/8 back into our quadratic function. Plug that 5/8 in for t. Okay, so we have t equals 5/8. Let's plug it back in. So h equals should say h of 5/8 equals negative 16 5/8 squared plus 20 times 5/8. Okay, so now it's just a matter of following the order of operations. So we should square this 5/8 first. So let's rewrite negative 16 5/8 squared. Well, you can think of this squared as distributing to both the 5 and the 8. So 5 squared is 25. 8 squared is 64. And then we can go ahead and multiply 20 and 5/8. We can even make our lives simpler by reducing this 20 and this 8, because 20 and 8 are both divisible by 4. So 20 divided by 4 is 5. 8 divided by 4 is 2. So 5 times 5 is 25/2. Okay, so now we need to multiply 16 times this fraction, 25/64. Well, we can also simplify here, because 64 and 16 are both divisible by 16. So 16 divided by 16 is just 1. And 64 divided by 16, that's 4. So we have negative 25/4 plus 25/2. So let's rewrite that. Negative 25/4 plus 25/2. So I'm going to rewrite this 25/2 in terms of fourths so I can get a common denominator. So the common denominator between 2 and 4 is going to be 4. So I need to multiply 2 by 2 to get 4. So let's do that. So if I multiply, so I want to change 2 into 4. To do that, I need to multiply by 2. And since I'm multiplying by 2 on the bottom, I need to do the same on the top. Okay, so 25 times 2, that's 50. 2 times 2 is 4. So now we have 50/4 minus 25/4, and 50 minus 25 is 25, and we have it over 4. Okay, so that's our height value, and let's think of that maybe as a whole number with a fraction. So 24 divided by 4 would be 6. So we'd be left with 1 left over. So we'd have 6 and a fourth, or 6.25. So 6.25 feet. That's the maximum height. That's what we're looking for.